What's up, guys? Have you ever felt like just life has beat you up? Like you just feel like defeated, whether it's, a family member or romantic partner, just like beating you up and constantly like pushing you down, or maybe you just say you're gonna do something and then you don't end up doing it, and or you just like have all these ideas and options in life, and you don't necessarily um, trust yourself because you feel like you can do all these different things and you're actually excited about life and you have all these dreams and goals and wishes, but you're not actually following through. And so you feel like you kind of have a little lack of self confidence. Yeah, this is something that is really common if you are just not able to be confident. We're going to explore um, in this video how to overcome that self doubt and become confident. And this is just going to be a step by step guide, really, about how to trust yourself again, specifically with 12 strategies to gain self confidence. And this is actually some information I got from a soulsalt.com article and blog, and it's going to be super helpful. So let's dive in. What's up, YouTube? My name is Kellyanne Rose. And like I just explained, this video is all about how to trust yourself again with 12 strategies to gain that self confidence. So, self trust really it means just nurturing an empowered attitude, sticking to your principles, and showing up fully for yourself and others. If you expect honesty, if you expect follow through, if you expect respect, those are all good things and valid, and you got to keep on expecting them. Although, this is a time when expectations are good to have. When you follow through with these actions over time, you'll learn how to trust yourself and invite others to do the same. So, number one, how are we going to trust yourself again after maybe being beat down by jobs or relationships or just life in general, or maybe just feeling like you have too many options and not actually knowing what you're going to do, and then not trusting yourself. So, you in turn lose that confidence. So number one, you got to start with self-compassion. You've got to love yourself over anyone else. You got to forgive yourself. And if you're constantly beating yourself up, other people are too. So you've got to be the first one to forgive and love yourself. um, so also sometimes that inner voice, it tells you that your dreams are kind of, stupid or unattainable. And when you make a mistake or do something you regret, that inner voice has a lot to say. And usually none of it's kind or helpful. So now would be the time to transform your inner critic into a compassionate friend. And when you hear yourself in a cycle of self doubt and criticism, like, why did I do this? And, just take a moment to respond like you would with a good friend. So instead of beating ourselves up, give yourself some self-love and compassion. And then try practicing mindful self-compassion. So um, there's a great way to transform self-judgment. It's called the RAIN practice, and it was developed by Tara Brach, who has a PhD in psychology, and she's also a meditation teacher. um, the RAIN practice it leads you to support yourself through difficult emotions rather than getting stuck in them. And um, that is a really great thing to explore. So I can do another video on that. So when you notice yourself thinking, I don't trust myself, or I'm afraid I'll get it wrong again, you just have to respond with, like, hey, this is hard. What do you need to get through it? So today, for example, I just was like, I'm beating myself up for, like, maybe I don't have enough self trust because I'm allowing, this other person to walk all over me. I'm allowing them to walk out of my house, be disrespectful. I'm the one that is stepping up and apologizing. And basically, what happened was my boyfriend said he was going to do something and then he didn't do it. And even though it's a small thing, it's the principle for me that matters, that's important. So, is it silly of me to have those expectations and hold him to his standards of following through when he says something? No, I think that's absolutely, I'm qualified in having that expectation. So we will talk about the RAIN method, because that's definitely something he needs help with, talking through his emotions. And so I need to forgive myself for being compassionate with him, because it's like, at, when it becomes detrimental to me that I am allowing this behavior to go on is when it's not okay. Um, I just sometimes I just feel like his teacher, his mother. It's like where I don't know where the and we're just it's just we're just two different people, very different, and I just don't understand half the time where he's coming from. All right, so other than being compassionate, which I need to do with myself today, number two is giving yourself permission. So if you don't trust yourself to make a big decision or take action on your dreams, you got to start small. So give yourself permission to do something just for you every day. And, some of us just need a lot more space than others. Some people can just go about being very like catering to other people, and others of us have been catering to other people our whole stinking life and really have to work really, really hard at that self care. Um, I tend to attract those relationships that are just, I don't know, maybe people who are also hard on themselves. So it's my job not to beat that person up. And it's really tough, rough waters to navigate this. But let's just go back to the self care routine. Giving yourself permission to do something for you, for just you every day. For some of us, it's just like a basic self care routine. That can be a big leap. Each time. I think as mothers, it's hard to be like, have that self care routine and just take time for self care. And I just know this because of my own mom and a lot of the mothers I see, but I think it's very important to kind of have that support. I always told myself that if I ever wanted to have children, I either had to have 2 million in the bank per kid, a village of like 20 to 40 people to raise the kid, or two different nannies. And yeah, that's really interesting because I have to think to myself, I guess the village is the thing I'm close. Well, you never know. I mean, this YouTube could blow up, and the anyway, it's just good to know where you're at and what your needs are, and what is self-care to you. So small steps each day, daily action will get you there. Small steps could look like, just number one, identifying your needs, making a list of what makes you feel good, from taking like a long bath to going for a walk in the park and giving yourself time for those things. I actually do give myself a lot of time, but I also need that time. And I'm kind of to the point where I'm needing less of it, and I'm ready to like give back more. Um but I'd rather give it to like a child, not like an adult child who's acting like a child when they're actually supposed to be an adult. Okay, number two of the number two, giving yourself permission. So, how to take these small steps each day to give yourself some self love. Design a self care routine that works for you. Um, start with one small habit like waking up at a certain hour, 20 minutes of exercise, a healthy breakfast, or a regular bedtime. So, for me right now, I'm working on doing 7:30 a.m. yoga class. So, doing an hour of yoga in the morning, which is more than most people get. And then I'll do some weights and definitely get my cardio in, knock on wood, later in the day. But yeah, it's all about taking care of ourselves, because who else is going to do it when we don't do it, right? It's really sad. I mean, sometimes people's spouses or significant others will help out, but I know that in this life, although it's hard, it's very important, and I'm very proud of fulfilling my dharma, which is to take care of myself. So that's that. Also, you can meditate to check in with your inner state. Yoga really helps me with that. And that reminds me, I need to book my sessions for my mediums and astrologers, because it is a new year and it is time for me to book those. I feel like there's a new course in shifting in my life, and it's time to really keep myself grounded and not get myself in anything that I'm not ready for, and just keep working hard at being the best person I can be and staying in my own energy. Okay, meditating, start with 5 to 15 minutes of meditation each day. So it's actually easier. Than you think. You just wake up, you sit up, move around, and then sit down and just meditate. And I think it's like if you have a hard time getting out of bed, I think it's hard to just jump into it. But when you've got something to wake up for, like a yoga class, it helps you kind of get up and get going. So to be on that, it's like a catch 22 because you either are like being on a time constraint isn't fun to like wake up and meditate, but it also is good to have something to kind of get you out of bed in the morning. So I like having something to get you out of bed, um, without being a mom or a dog mom or, I have to feed my bunny rabbit, but I mean, I'm pretty lucky. I need a lot of sleep and it's not like a luxury. It's like my medicine. So, different people, different boats for different folks. I forgot how that goes, but just taking care of myself. Say no to people who drain you. Wow, this is really interesting. Oh gosh. Well, definitely have my difficulties in my relationship. Walk away from the naysayers and the dream crushers in your life. Maybe I'm being that way. As well as those who drain your energy. Just say no to that event and do something that nourishes you instead. All right. Yes, ma'am. Practice grounding techniques to heal from your past. Work through past trauma on your own or with your therapist. By the way, this is information from a soulsalt.com article, How to Trust Yourself. Practice grounding techniques to heal from your past. Work through past trauma on your own or with your therapist. Peter Levine's book, Healing Trauma, has some great exercises to start with. I'm clicking on that. Use affirmations and count your blessings in a journal. I should definitely add like my gratitudes in my journal and start doing more affirmations at night. I do have affirmations in my video. I'm sorry, I have 3 or 4 different videos already with affirmations. So go ahead and check out the affirmations playlist. And I have one about like healthy eating and healthy relationships and just self-confidence. That would be a really good one. So I'll put that link in here about self-confidence. There's an affirmations video. So check it out. It is a good one. All right. Schedule time with supportive. I love how I'm just like taking notes right now. Like, oh, I need to like do my gratitude journal at night. And God, it's like how much work, you know? I'm just a work in progress. It's like how much, when is the work over though? It's never done. You were never done growing. So got to get my gratitude journal going on. And use affirmations to count your blessings. The affirmations, gratitudes, affirmations, my goodness. And I'm going to make sure to put that in this video. I just got to stick to my self inner work. Schedule time with supportive people. Find someone who can check in with your progress and encourage you on your journey of self-trust. Meet with a coach, a mastermind group, supportive friend, or mentor regularly. True confidence comes from feeling genuinely good about yourself. Until you get there, find ways to value yourself, even if you don't feel that way just yet. Don't worry about bad habits just yet. You may find it easier to slowly incorporate healthy habits instead, to shift to self-care. And it's all about that gradual shifting and the balance in between. Nothing too drastic has to happen, and you don't really want anything too drastic to happen. You want things to gradually happen over time. All right, number 3, as far as how to trust yourself again and gain that confidence, embrace vulnerability. So in order for connection to happen, Brene Brown says we have to allow ourselves to be seen, really seen. I think that's hard for me because I'm used to just like not being seen. Like, I think in a like not being heard. And so really to, force that, like, I need to be heard. I think it helps. But embrace vulnerability. This is such a good article. So Brene Brown has a TED Talk called Listening to Shame. And She says that people often look at vulnerability as a sign of weakness, but when you hide your vulnerabilities, you'll never let anyone know the real you. So she suggests reframing vulnerability and looking at it as an act of bravery rather than an imperfection, which is really true because you can you can only crack open once into your true essence once you allow yourself to be vulnerable. And then you let your guard down and you give other people the signal that they can let their guard down too. But being authentic and showing vulnerability, it really builds strong relationships and true connections. As social creatures, we really need that sense of connection to feel secure and confident. So when you feel insecure in social situations, remind yourself that it's okay to be you. I mean, take baby steps and risk getting vulnerable. Over time, you'll learn how to trust yourself again, and those feelings of insecurity will start to disappear. Number 4, enforce your personal boundaries. This is something that I am constantly working on. Like, I have this 24-hour in advance rule that you need to plan with me 24-hour in advance, but I don't really want my life to be like that. I just sometimes need that when I'm working. Today was a day off, so or because today I'm filming Monday, the day after New Year's Day. So I was able to play, not work today, and I was able to do something last minute. But other ways that I've been enforcing my boundaries lately is like, I don't know, it's hard to enforce your boundaries. But I think just giving myself the time I need to do what I need to do is really important. And no more of this last minute hanging out, especially the rest of this whole week until the weekend. All right. So if you don't trust yourself, you most likely have a hard time saying no and standing firm when people overstep. And personal boundaries establish acceptable ways for other people to behave towards you and how you will respond when people push those limits. So in addition to the affirmations, I'll put a link above here about the video about boundaries, because it's really important to hold true to your own boundaries so that other people don't disrespect them. So when you keep your personal boundaries, this will help you establish your personal power and ensure that the relationships remain mutually respectful, supportive, and caring. So how to establish personal boundaries? You practice self-awareness, recognize that your needs matter, clearly communicate your needs with others, practice an assertive communication style, try to use I statements rather than place the blame on others. Setting boundaries takes time. They aren't set in stone. Don't give up if things don't go smoothly. Maintain clear and healthy communication and have patience. Remember that you take charge of your life and can walk away at any time. Listen to your thoughts. Lately, I've just been walking away, when I feel like I'm not being respected, and then I'm being called back, and it's kind of weird, but anyway. All right, number 5, how to gain self-trust. Listen to your thoughts. So when you want to get to know yourself better, you look inward. Spending time alone, it gives you that space to listen to your thoughts and emotions. Activities like long walks, meditation, and swimming can give you a chance to listen to what's going on in your head. You may kind of notice feelings of self-doubt that you need to address. If you have trouble being alone, turn that time into an opportunity to treat yourself. A day of pampering, treating yourself to something nice, a new haircut, a hot bath. Consistently treat yourself just for the sake of it. So do things that make you feel good. And then number 6, express your authentic self. When you can't trust yourself, you say things that you think other people will like. So rather than making decisions based on your needs, you allow external factors to control your life. So you keep your voice down rather than expressing your opinion. So this self-censoring prevents others from knowing the real you. And it makes sense to hide parts of yourself out of the fear of rejection or criticism. So you hide yourself because you feel insecure. You don't want someone to see you vulnerable. You don't want to admit that you made a mistake. That's really hard for me, is to admit when I made a mistake. I think I do it more easily. I just don't like being I don't know, shamed and like told that like I'm a bad person just because I made a mistake. So I really need to um, write that in my journal. I don't like admitting when I made a mistake or just being like criticized. Um, and this is all about helping. I'm not the expert in these videos. This is like, these videos are helping me. I couldn't come on here as this expert. All of the things I'm talking about are things I'm going through in real life. So putting on that false exterior, it really makes it hard to trust yourself. If you knew someone who was two-faced, who said one thing and did another, would you trust them? And the answer is no. So authenticity is an important part of self-trust and developing long-lasting relationships. So the more authentic you can be, the more you'll learn about yourself and the more others will learn about you too. So let go of the idea that everyone is supposed to like you. When you stay true to who you are, your tribe will find you. So ways to cultivate authenticity. Practice mindfulness. So learn to be fully present in the now. This will help you stick to your principles even in everyday situations and show up for others. Seek out situations that allow you to be yourself. So look for communities that really, that really support your interests and values. So find safe spaces to open up and celebrate your true authentic self. There we go. Examine family beliefs. So, does the way you were raised conflict with your true self? So, how can you overcome those discrepancies? And then examine family beliefs. Oh, I already said that. Sorry, I clicked on the Celebrate Your True Authentic Self article, and then I wanted to like go back to what we were just reading. Is anybody even watching this? Right? I'm just kidding. But go ahead and give me some sort of what's up. Comment here. I want to hear it. Uh-oh. So we know how to be our authentic self. Oh, I lost where I was. Just being your how to trust yourself. Back to the article from Soul Salt. We appreciate you so much. I do. So number 6, and I'm going to take out my gum because I feel like I'm being rude. Expressing your authentic self. Okay, number 7, know what truly matters to you. So an inner conflict happens when you don't understand your most important principles. So outside influences will pull you in all sorts of directions. So you'll wind up making decisions based on other people's opinions rather than listening to your own. So this article says her research shows that 3/4 of one's success comes from within, that inner wisdom deep down. The smaller part comes from outside input, feedback, and perception from others. In order to trust yourself, you need to get clear on where you stand. Take the time to define your list of core values and beliefs. That is a really good one as well. I just love all these articles. Soul Salt, you are killing it. I just keep going to the okay, so and then also like once you list out your list of core values and beliefs, when you examine those, you can start matching your actions with your beliefs. So you have a clear sense of who you are. You know when to say yes and when to walk away. And over time, you start to trust yourself more. So picture your version of success. So what does success be to you? Close your eyes, imagine your ideal life, go into detail. So what is the appearance of your most empowered self? What does the expression of your face look like? How do you feel? Strong, happy, healthy? Are you a total badass? What physical activities do you see yourself doing? Are you running, lifting weights, swimming, surfing, piloting a plane? Use your imagination. Wow, that's amazing. Who surrounds you? Do you picture yourself with a partner, children, or specific loved ones in your circle? Think of a number in your bank account. So visualization is a really powerful tool Jim Carrey and Oprah Winfrey both credit visualization as an important part of their success. So when you understand exactly what success means to you, you start to illuminate the path forward. So get specific so you can guide yourself forward. And I totally need to do this. And then accept that you are not perfect. So perfectionism means refusing to accept anything short of perfect when trying to achieve your goals. So this kind of mindset, it really gets in the way of trusting yourself and moving forward when you make a mistake. So when perfectionist makes a mistake, which is inevitable, they tend to give up and feel like a total failure. They're so hard on themselves that they don't leave any room for error. This is really self-destructive and will leave you paralyzed. Failure feels too unacceptable to risk. So, overcoming perfectionism begins with shifting your mindset. Remember that everyone makes mistakes. The journey of life is about growth, which only comes from making mistakes and learning from them. So, you can still love and trust yourself. Even if you make mistakes, dust yourself off. If you find yourself going through cycles of guilt and shame, you may need to focus on forgiving yourself. That can mean speaking to a counselor or coach, or can help who can help work through some of the deeper issues going on. So start to let go of that guilt and shame with small steps each day. And then allow yourself to make mistakes. Take things a little less seriously. You don't need to be perfect to relax, be yourself, and take your full shot at life. And then number 10, practice honest communication. So lack of trust in yourself can develop from a young age. So parents and teachers expect children to speak and behave in a certain way. You learn to hold your tongue. You think before speaking. You don't feel free to express yourself. So one way to undo some of this conditioning starts with honest communication. So it's time to let yourself speak truthfully. So pay attention to the emotions that come up when you interact with others. Ask yourself, what are you feeling? Do you feel upset, angry, annoyed, or disappointed about something? Get specific and try to pinpoint exactly how you feel. And then number 3, look into the why of these emotions. Where do these feelings come from? Try to understand why you feel this way. And then express to the other person involved how you feel honestly. So noticing your thoughts and feelings acknowledges that they exist in the first place. Then you'll find it easier to communicate with someone calmly about how you feel rather than explode with emotion. Wow. I could really read that again. Noticing your thoughts and feeling acknowledges that they exist in the first place. Then you'll find it easier to communicate with someone calmly about how you feel rather than explode with emotion. A new breed. And I'm not perfect. I can't always be the one who is just not responding with emotion and calmly explaining how I feel. I can't be the one teaching when I'm not being heard. A new brain imaging study by psychologists at the University of California reveals that verbalizing our feelings makes sadness, anger, and pain less intense. When you identify emotions and their triggers, you dampen the reaction. Use the trust model. Number 11. People who don't trust themselves can sometimes have a difficult time being honest with themselves. So lying to yourself, bullying yourself, ignoring important information, does any of this sound familiar? So Judith E. Glasser, she has a work on conversational intelligence, and that's a model that this author here uses to um, it's a model for trust, to push beyond self-doubt and begin the journey of self-trust. So it's designed for building healthy, productive conversation skills with others, but this model also works for conversing with yourself. When you don't trust yourself to make a decision, you own your power or do what's best, you talk yourself through it. You journal your way through and identify where you need to be more honest, respectful, and understanding for yourself. Wow. So transparency. So be willing to be transparent. Tell the why behind the what. Share versus withhold, and quelling fear versus causing it. So this is the model for trust. to push yourself beyond self-doubt and begin that journey of self-trust, to build healthy, productive conversation skills with others, but also works with conversing with yourself. So transparent, so trust, transparency, respect, understand, shared success, test assumptions. Transparency, be willing to be transparent. Tell the why behind the what. Share versus withhold. Quelling fear versus causing it. R, respect. See capacity in the other. Assume the best. Use honorable language and actions. 3, understand. Stand under. Listen to the reality of another. Step under their umbrella of reality. Look with an open heart. Shared success. Co-create win-win-win scenarios. Strategize for mutual success. T, test assumptions. Tell the truth. Close reality gaps. Listen to close such gaps. Avoid making stuff up. Number 12, trust your intuition. And this is my favorite. Last but certainly not least, overthinking can get in the way of trusting yourself. When you make a decision, overthinking can cause you to second guess your choices. So this leads to internal conflict and anxiety. So sometimes you need to get out of your head and listen to your gut. That means listening to what your body has to say about a situation. So instead of asking what you think, what do you feel? Healing starts with feeling. So your body offers an emotional intelligence guiding you each and every day. When you suppress your true feelings, that can come up in unhealthy ways. So you may vent your anger or sadness through self-destructive behavior. Take the time to listen to what your gut has to tell you through practices like meditation. So you don't have to process every emotion in one sitting, but over time, you'll learn to tune into your body more and trust your gut feeling when making decisions. So how do you rebuild trust in yourself? When it comes to trust, you can't rush things. You just be patient and nurture trust in yourself. Over time, you'll develop self-confidence. Just give yourself the time. So small steps and daily action will help build confidence and trust in yourself. So develop a self-care routine, good daily habits, practice regular communication with yourself, counteract your inner critic with some self-compassion, be more vulnerable and authentic with people, and speak with a therapist or coach who can help you identify your past conditioning. And then what happens when you trust yourself? It isn't about being bulletproof. It's about eliminating self-doubt. It means reclaiming the power you surrender to your fears. It means standing up from a place of confidence. So you start to lean into your fears and harness that personal power to carry forward. What does self-trust mean? It's consistently sticking to your values, nurturing an empowered attitude, following your principles, and showing up for others in your life. When you trust yourself, the opinions of others don't carry as much weight. You feel more comfortable in your own skin. Why do you not trust your own judgment? You can't trust yourself when you find yourself repeatedly making decisions that don't match your core values and what you actually want out of life. Often this happens when you haven't defined what your values even are. So you can't break patterns until you recognize them in the first place. So we can help. In this article, they say that they can help give you that push to know what you want out of life and trust yourself to achieve it. And then they have a course, take control, identify, find, and live as your true self. I should take that course. So Lynn Christensen is the author of this article. Her purpose is to support you in living to earn a living and live your life by doing what inspires you. To accomplish this, she works as a coach, consultant, TEDx speaker, author, and founder of Soul Salt. Go Lynn. That is super helpful. I just love all of this. Thank you for sharing all of this, Lynn. And we're going to go ahead and tag you and post this article on YouTube. Hopefully you guys have gotten a lot out of this. I am new to YouTube. I appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time in the next video. Ciao, namaste.